Hello and welcome to High Point Music's Tone Zone. In today's episode I'm going to touch a little bit on what Ryan talked about in his multi-effects versus stomp box video and show you a real-time example of why you might use one over the other and a couple of quick pros and cons with the pedals in front of me of the different styles. So today I've got my favourite tremolo pedal, the Empress Tremolo, and I've got the Strymon Mobius, which for all intensive purposes is a multi-effect modulation pedal. You can save presets, you can program it with MIDI, you can do a bunch of cool stuff. So it's in that vein of multi-effects style where it's got punch down menus and the knobs don't always represent what the settings are when you change to a patch. So I'll turn the Empress Tremolo on. I've just put the knobs up so that I know I've got signal. Now for argument's sake, let's say that I want a faster ratio than that or a faster rate. Maybe not quite that fast. And I want to be pretty choppy, so I'm going to turn the depth up. I think the gain sounds good there. I've got it in the tube mode, which is a smooth, crispy, not super clean tremolo sound. And bang, and that's it. Somebody calls a tempo change in the tune. One of the advantages, I can just move this over to the tap tempo mode and then tap that tempo in with the drummer. To slow it down, speed it up. So in a live situation, you can just tap that out at the start of the song and you'll get that sound reliably all the time. So I definitely agree with Ryan's comments about stomp boxes being a tactile experience and you can get a really quick, easy sound out of them. You learn what all the different controls are because they are what they are in front of you. What you see is what you get. So if you're changing tunes, okay, I don't want it that deep, it's too much. There's a little bit of movement there, that's nice and subtle. Maybe I can leave that on for the whole outro section of a song, and if I don't get over to turn it off, it's not a big deal. It's just going to sit there in the background and offer a little bit of texture and color. So I find that really easy to do. We've got a tap tempo control and a normal control here with the rate, and that makes it pretty easy to get what I want out of it every time. So that's all well and good. I've got my tremolo set sound. Now, the advantage of you going to something like the Mobius is we can really specify a few of those settings, particularly the speed or the tempo of the song. So I've got the vintage tremolo setting, the heart, which is a preset that they have on the unit. So I'm going to pick that mode. Now, in order for me to get a tube sound out of it, I have to dial into the menu, go to the mode parameter, and that's in harmonic, and I'm going to scroll that across to tube. There we go, okay. Now I check my panning because it's in full panning mode. I don't want that because it's a mono guitar rig that I'm running. Tap divisions, quarter notes, okay, that's all right. And naming and expression pedals I don't need to worry about on this gig. Everybody in the band is waiting for me to finish making my settings. So I can change the depth here. Let's turn that as deep as we can go. I need a bit more level. Okay, band guys are getting pretty annoyed with me now because the singer's got to banter and banter. Now the tempos are reasonably similar, so I can just tap that in. Oh, maybe that's not the right tempo. Hey, Mr. Drummer, what's the tempo of this song? Okay, it's 200. Or say it's 120 beats a minute. I got to go up to 240 so I can get two of them a beat. Cool. Okay, now I need to save that setting. Hold that button, push the channel I want it to save to. It's saved. Okay. All right, guys, I'm ready to start the tune. It doesn't work. You can't be that long in a rehearsal or at a gig. That's the sort of thing you would do at home. Work those sounds out for yourself. The big advantage of this menu system, though, is that if they play this tune and all of a sudden it's like, let's try a different feel in the bridge, I can go, all right, well, if we're going to try a different feel, I'm going to save this setting to the second channel on the Mobius, to channel B, and then I'm going to bump that tempo back down to say 120 beats a minute, like so, and then I'm going to save it. I could rename the patch, of course, but now I get the exact same tremolo sound, but at half time. So it might be a cool sound or something I can use the same setting for in multiple songs. That's a big advantage. It is the reason that I bought the Mobius, being able to dial in tempos and beats per minute. Very, very straightforward once I'd learnt how to use this. It has a stereo feature, it has MIDI, it has presets. I can have 200 tremolo presets saved to it. It's got a lot of features that, unless I had used this, you're not going to get too much out of that. So the heart of the matter, or the crux or the point of what I'm trying to say, is that if you want to get a quick sound at a gig, this is the way to do it. It's fast, it's easy, it sounds good. You'll be able to dial that setting in really, really quickly. If you've got the ability to go to something like the Strymon, maybe you go home after you've set this up at the rehearsal room, you can go home, you can program this tremolo sound into this unit, save it, and then maybe this is on your gigging board rather than your rehearsal board. That's a lot of money to spend to have that functionality, but it's definitely something that you can do. I love the functionality in the Strymon of being able to dial tempos in specifically. It's got a lot of high-end user functions that are really, really useful. At the end of the day, if you want a quick sound and an easy sound, an analog pedal or a Stomp box style device is the way to go. So there you go, a very quick rundown on the differences between the two and why you might use one over the other, particularly in a pedal that requires a tempo to be entered and something that can be so fiddly, it really allows you to see what the differences are and make a decision for yourself. If you're interested in picking one of these pedals up, we've got links below in the description for the Empress Tremolo and the Strymon Mobius. If you've got any questions or suggestions, or maybe you want to know what settings I'm using, let us know, comment on our social media or on the blog. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.